Welcome in, Viking News on Demand. Apologize, coming in a little bit hot there. Let's turn that down. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. School board meeting will be underway here in just a few moments as it is 6 o'clock right now. We are actually at the school board meeting tonight. We'll bring you a recap tomorrow. This show will air from 6 until 7. We're actually pre-recording this up in the day, George, but we are at that school board meeting tonight. Big things on the agenda, and we get a little moment after a while. I may read that agenda just for information's sake and encourage you, the public, to come. Now, we want you to understand tonight's school board meeting, they are going to be very strict about the capacity of the room. So once it reaches a certain capacity, they will be turning folks away. So make sure that if you want to get into that school board meeting, you get there a little bit early to secure your spot. And then there usually a local radio station does supply a live stream of that. We have chosen not to live stream, but just provide you highlights from that coming up tomorrow. So just kind of getting that out of the way, because I know that would put you in a bad spot because, some of the things being done are also your boss. And so we make sure that we just cover that on the side so that we don't put Mr. George into a very difficult position. George, it's been a little while since we've seen you. We've had Christmas, we've had New Year's, and now we are looking at some things here. I imagine that we're staying virtual for the most part because our coronavirus has not went anywhere.
Exactly, and for the most part, it's increased actually. And what we want to do is we want to remain in the capacity that we serve in now.
Sure.
Regarding the coronavirus, and as I said, the increase in numbers. We're operating at our school the way I feel like it's safer for our students.
Sure.
And our administration has signed off on that as well. So if you are virtual, you will remain virtual. And if you are in school or coming to school, you will remain in that capacity as well. And that is the decision that we have come down to, because we've got everything in place. We've got the numbers that we need to operate here in our school solidified with how we're moving about with our building, how our students are able to move about safely with the numbers that we currently have.
Sure.
And we have meal counts that are currently getting distributed daily in-house and with our virtual students, and meal pickups as well. So everything is in place, and parents have had, we give them that, I feel, ample time to have made that decision to whether their students will be virtual versus in school and come to school on the hybrid schedule that we have set up for them. And we have just made that decision for the safety of all involved, and I think we will stick with that and move forward.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So virtual will continue, and so if you're doing in person, then that will have to continue as well, because it was released a few weeks ago, actually months ago now, that if you decided to go in person, we need you to stay there, and if you decided to go virtual, and I could understand that would cause a lot of headache knowing which kids are doing what if we're constantly changing back and forth.
Exactly.
It's very important for the education of our children, and this is going to sound kind of funny because stability is not a word that we used a whole lot in 2020.
Oh, no, not at all.
But at the same time, for the education of our children, there needs to be some sort of stability. And so if you keep putting them on virtual and yanking them out, that kind of thing, that would make it difficult. And then secondly, it makes it hard on the school system to know what your child is and to track their education.
It does. A lot of things are affected by that. Attendance is affected by that.
Yes.
And then we have devices that we have to check out.
Yeah.
And overall, Seth, if there was a shutdown of our sports, if there was a shutdown of our school system, we would have to somehow maneuver to see how we're going to educate at that point that the shutdown occurs.
And I know that there's daily attendance and all of that can be done, and it is done.
It is.
But, contact tracing is so much easier when you know who was at the school, and it's not this, oh, no, did you not remember that so-and-so
we brought them back?
Yeah. That would get difficult.
You're right, and it is much, it's much simpler to do it this way, and I know some parents will probably have some just a little feedback with that.
Sure.
I do understand, but if you think for first and foremost the safety of what has been done and what has been put in place, if you think, again, I know changes occur daily, transitions occur daily, but if you think of the ample time that has been given to make that decision, and then for us, as you said, the main thing is to be in as much of a stable capacity in serving and educating students as possible is our goal.
Yes.
So we feel like that if we keep things in the way they are and they remain that way, it's a better opportunity for our students in the learning process, and it's a safer environment for everyone involved in the education process.
Definitely so.
Yes,
and what people need to realize, and although, yes, the buck does stop with your superintendent, and Ms. Shelton is making those decisions. However, any good leader surrounds themselves with people that are influences and advisors.
Exactly.
And so I'm sure she has sought counsel, and I'm sure that she has people that are speaking to this as well.
Right.
And then they take that advice and they kind of put it all together and figure out what the best plan of action moving forward is. This is not a flip a coin, this is what we're going to do.
Great point, Seth.
These are calculated decisions that have taken time to figure out what we're going to do and where we're headed. So, again, just kind of want to get that out there because I've heard some of the rumbles, and you have probably too.
And
I'm
sure
I agree.
There's going to be a little bit of a controversy regarding bringing students back versus keeping them in a virtual learning capacity. So
finding that happy medium is so hard.
The balance is difficult. As you said, you hit the nail on the head when you have to weigh so many other situations.
Yeah.
So many other things are impacted by your decision. It's not a fly-by-night or a total decision made by our superintendent. It's other things to be considered, and first and foremost is the education system by which we're governed by. And there are rules and regulations and requirements that we must follow in educating our students and getting them what they need and doing it in a safe manner.
And the school board has a little bit of a say in this as well.
School board as well. They do have input, and they overall they advise and they oversee, and it's a collaborative effort among many.
And I mean, every school board meeting I've been to, they've been erring on the side of caution. There are some that say, hey, maybe we should just go ahead and open back up. But as a whole, I think they have really voted or voiced their expression of erring on the side of caution. And I think everybody understands that. And who would have thought we would have been here right now? Many of us thought it would be over with in October.
Right.
And yet here we are, January the 7th, and the big C word is still here. And we're trying to conquer it. Thankfully, I don't know if you saw it or not, there's pictures. One of your teachers posted a picture this morning on the way to work from South Jackson, where they've started these vaccines, and you have to be a Madison County resident to get them at the fairgrounds in Jackson.
Right.
But the line to receive the vaccine today was unreal. And then just a few moments later, her husband was coming through and sent her a photo. It was backed up all the way past Catfish Cabin.
Oh, wow.
So, maybe there will be enough people. I first said I didn't think there would be enough people to take the vaccine for it to work. But if what we're seeing locally is what's happening across the nation, then
it's right.
Just maybe, fingers crossed, that we can kick this thing, and by next school season, we've got protocols in place. I think there's some protocols that will have to stay. Hopefully not virtual all the time, but there are some protocols that will have to probably stay in place. But maybe next school season we're sitting here talking something completely different.
We just want to stress to our parents and our community to be patient. We are operating under some guidelines and procedures that's new to us too. With a pandemic such as the COVID virus that's occurred within our world, actually, not just our community. Everybody's affected by this. There are changes, and as we talk in our second segment, Seth, regarding some education that we're talking now, and in our second segment, we'll deal a little bit with athletics. We noticed that the governor in his executive order number 70 has brought about some changes to athletics as well. And in working with our TSSAA, which is our governing body, it is actually going to affect a lot of households and the way we look at sporting events like we've never done before.
But let me say this. It's going to affect a lot of households, but it's not going to affect near the number of households that have been affected by COVID-19.
Absolutely.
And that's what everybody has to keep that in mind.
Point.
And I'm not a doomsday guy by any means, but everybody has to remember this is for safety measures, okay?
Exactly.
And so what I want needs to be thrown out the window, and we have to look at what's needed here. And so whatever's going to be in place, we'll have to roll with the punches. And
we will.
This is not here forever. That is not here forever.
Now, that is a good point as well. We want to just make sure that our parents and our community know we do apologize for the inconvenience that this places on each of you. However, we hope to soon see, a decline in this COVID virus, and that way we can go to some type of normalcy for our education, our school, our attendance, and our athletic programs for that matter.
Yeah, and something else to think about too. And so I just said that side of it. I also get it, Mom. I also get it, Dad.
Yeah,
this is your child's senior year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, last year stunk because there were some kids that graduated saying, man, it robbed me of basketball. Because if you remember, we played this part last year.
We did.
But we got to state tournament time and had to shut down. This is what we're trying to avoid. Exactly. We're trying to avoid having to shut down a tournament and say there is no champion this year because we didn't get to have it.
Right.
So I think I understand that side of it too, to the parents and the grandparents and the child that says, man, this was my senior year and it's always going to be marked with an asterisk, I guess.
Yeah, with an asterisk, with a doomsday COVID pandemic that we had to suffer through. Yeah.
At the same time, just remember, it's not here to stay.
Right.
And maybe that child will go on either play ball in college or continue their education in college, and they get to experience even a graduation. Because I know graduation was even different last year.
It was.
But at the same time, you got to have a graduation. Some schools didn't even do a walk graduation.
Yeah.
So, there's. I guess I'm always good at trying to find something positive to find there. But, we just got to remember this isn't here forever. COVID's not going to be here forever, and we're just trying to navigate through this. So I appreciate all the protocols that you all are putting into place.
Absolutely.
And I know you've got other things that you need to cover today.
Yeah.
We're not doing COVID hour, but at the same time, it affects schools.
It affects schools. It affects everyone, and it affects this world as such. And we have to take those precautions, and we have to do what's needed to keep things safe. I think that's the main priority is safety.
Yes, sir.
Let's jump into a little school news regarding our Humboldt Junior Senior High School. We're having our parent-teacher conference January the 14th.
Okay.
This year.
Now, how does that look? Is that going to be virtual or is it in person?
That is in person for those in-person students, and that is virtual, and calls need to be made to schedule some time that you get that dialogue and that communication with your teachers and your students. And however it can happen, that's not going to limit visits. Of course, our Fridays are a little flexible for our teachers. And by no means think that our teachers, because there are no students on Friday, are not doing anything. These teachers are reaching out to students. I'm reaching out to students as well. I have students that I contact weekly as well from a standpoint of making sure that they are getting what they need and assisting me with some of the things that I do and giving them those opportunities, because our students are what matters. Our kids are first and the priority here, and we want to make sure that the communication with the parent-teacher conference is made and the dialogue is made between the parent and the teacher, because it is crucial to know where your students are and how they're doing, either from a virtual standpoint, as is that in-school capacity that they're coming daily may be a little easier. In some cases, it's not, but for the most part, we just need to have that open line of communication, and parents need to know when conferencing with their teachers and their child's teacher that you need to schedule, you need to call, and you need to communicate in order to find out the procedure and know what's going to be required of your teacher, your child's teacher, and where you need to be accountable for knowing where that student stands academically.
Wow. And it's very important, folks. And I know we could say, well, it's a COVID year, but it's very important you stay active in your child's education.
Absolutely.
And you can argue that virtual school is not as good as in-person school, and that argument's for you on your own Facebook pages and talking that everywhere else. Yeah. But what we're here to do is just to get you the opportunity to understand, even if your child is virtual, you can talk to that teacher. If you're having problems, whether it's logging into something or it's maybe the schoolwork and how it's being presented to your child, that can always be adjusted. These are adjustment meetings, really, more than anything else.
They are. They're, and that's important, Seth.
Yes.
Adjustments have to occur. We can't do it, as you found out with this COVID pandemic. You can't do things the way you've always done them.
That's right.
And technology is probably a key and a crucial portion of success that you're going to encounter when you discuss virtual learning. Virtual learning has to be, in some sense, it can't always be a phone call. It can't definitely, as we know, be an in-person act that we partake in. Virtual is a technology based outreach that we are looking toward, and our students, you'll find out, technology wise, if they run into a little glitch, they know where to go and how to get it fixed. And our teachers are transitioning to find that is something that they're learning to do as well. But technology and having some sort of knowledge in how to operate from a technological standpoint is absolutely crucial now, and that's the times we're in. So
that's right.
Once
and these
again,
are not meetings where they're going to beat up on your child, tell you about how bad they were, and all this kind of stuff. This is really, how can we best serve your child? That's the whole purpose of these meetings, right?
Exactly. If you're missing an assignment, what can we do to help you? How can we get that assignment in?
Is that a subject in school you struggled with as a child? Can we get you a tutor? Can we help you arrange something
How can we help you? How can we assist you? If your device is broke, how can I get another one? If you're having trouble logging in, just small things that occur with technology that we want to assist with. We're wanting to do that, and we want our virtual students to remember to continue to log in on days that they are to be in school. 7th, 9th, and 10th, they're in school on Monday and Tuesday.
All right.
8th, 11th, and 12th, those grades are in school on Wednesday and Thursday. So make sure, virtual students, that you're logging in on those days that you're supposed to.
So you're noticing Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday are really for instruction.
Exactly.
But Friday is completely different story.
Fridays is that flexible time that we have to follow up on some of those students that maybe aren't logging in.
Yes.
Fridays are those times to follow up on some loose ends that we need to tie up, maybe with grades, maybe with input. There are always things that need to occur when you're educating a student. Whether it be virtual or whether it be in person, you're going to have to make some type of contact. So we've reserved that Friday for parents, teachers to do so. Contact us. Also, our Fridays, we have packet pickup on our Fridays where parents and students can come to the school. And they can get help with their work and ask questions about grades and pick up packets, and just make this sort of a flexible time to really just communicate and stay linked in to education and what's occurring with your students and their teachers and their instruction.
Are quite a few people taking advantage of the Fridays?
We are. I think we are, for the most part, the Fridays have become a thing to where it's not uncommon to contact your teacher or come up or use the proper procedure and say, how can we make things better? Little Johnny is missing an assignment. What do I need to do? Schedule more time. There's also the Microsoft Teams platform that we're using to communicate. There's Zoom. There's many different ways educationally that we can communicate via virtually rather than coming up. But again, if you do need to come up or you're going to pick up packets and you still want to inquire about getting some help with work and ask questions about grades, Friday is really the time to do that.
Excellent.
So Friday's the time to do that.
Well, and you mentioned earlier, and I just want to kind of kick this back in your court to give you a chance to clarify. You mentioned earlier about Fridays being an opportunity for those kids that are not logging in. That could raise a flag with some people because, it's not been that long ago. It was a major, major conversation in a school board meeting about attendance from students. How are we doing in that regard right now? You may not be able to answer it right now, and if you can't, that's fine. But how are we doing in those regards, whether with virtual or in-person students? How are we doing with absentees?
Absentees, we're having not a difficult time, but we are having some challenges with just actually making sure that students that are virtually are just linking in.
Yeah.
So the challenge with that I'm talking about really deals with if you have a student that you haven't heard from.
Yeah.
Our teachers are very, very diligent about contacting them.
Yeah.
And I know we have to visit homes. We have to call. We have to get hold of people through social media. And we're doing that. And I guess the best way to answer that question, Seth, is attendance must go on. We must count our students via virtual or in person. And if that isn't occurring, it is up to us as a school district, as a teacher, as an administrator, myself included, to go out and get students and make sure that they're receiving the information and find out if they're not, why or why not, and what's going on with them. So we definitely do have to count attendance. It is sometimes challenging contacting students, but we're making it work. We're getting out there, and we have the mindset and the understanding that if we are not, if we have a student on our roll and enrolled in our school and we hadn't heard from him, we got to find him.
Yeah.
And you know, we're doing that, and as I said, it's working. Sometimes it gets a little frustrating and difficult trying to locate. But all in all, attendance must go on, and our efforts must go on in contacting these students so we can be in a situation to give them what they need from an instructional standpoint.
And we've been talking about parent-teacher conference and checking on the progress of your child, but it's my understanding you can also you can continue to monitor that progress. You don't have to wait until teacher-parent conference for you to get that information.
You do not. Parents can also learn how to log in to Power School and monitor their children's progress along the way. Good point, Seth. You don't always have to wait to parent-teachers conference to know how your child is doing. Parents, you do have a Power School account with a username and password. If that has somehow got confused in the in the midst of all that's been going on, contact the office at Humboldt Junior Senior High School to get this information again, and we'll update it and we'll get it back out to you. But yes, by all means, parents, please know that you can learn how to log in and you can go into Power School and keep up with that progress of your child.
And so do we have another parent-teacher conference for the end of the school season, or is this it?
January 14th, if I'm not mistaken, this is it. Don't hold me to that. But,
so here's the deal. I guess my point to make there is if you have a child that needs to maybe bring those grades up just a little bit, and they're a senior, you need to be monitoring that progress. So don't wait until it's too late and then be fussing at the school about, well, my child was like 1 point away from getting this scholarship or whatever. You know, or goodness gracious, it would be sad for somebody to be missing a credit, maybe a half a credit, couldn't graduate. You know, you don't want those surprises, and the best way to keep those surprises from happening is stay involved with the child's progress.
Stay involved and make sure that if you do not have the information that you need, to call and set it up, and know that there are resources out there to assist you.
Definitely.
Such as Power School and logging in and monitoring your child's progress through a Power School account and a username that will give you easy access to do that.
Okay, so do you have anything else school-wise before we get to sports?
School-wise, I think we're good. Just remember, all parent-teacher conferences are January the 14th. We are going to reach out and make sure that parents are talking to teachers. And, at any one of the schools, people just know that you have the freedom and you're required, and we want you to. You have the flexibility to contact us and let us know what is going on with your child. If we see you have some concerns, we're here to help you. And just keep the line of communication open for us so that we can assist you in any capacity as we move forward, and we move into a new year to where we're trying to monitor the progress of our students, and we're trying to kind of shuffle through some loose ends that we have regarding education, with sports, with new requirements and demands that have come down on everything. It's just it's a time that where we just need the importance of communication emphasized.
Sure. School board meeting is starting here in about 6 minutes. I want to give you the agenda real quick. Like we have the call to order, roll call. Then there is a big agenda item that is right there at the outset of that meeting, and that is the election of your chairman, vice chairman, and the TLN representative. That is big tonight, and so we will be reporting on this tomorrow. Probably we'll have some video to share with you as well. The consent agenda, it's the normal stuff. You got your December 2020 bills and financial report, as well as the regular board meeting. All that has to be the consent agenda. And then we move into the regular agenda. That is the 2021 board meeting dates, the TSBA Legislative and Legal Institute, and then also board policy updates. And these are your second readings: the charter school application, textbooks and instructional materials, interrogations and searches, physical examinations and immunizations, medicines. Then also a board policy update. First reading is going to be talking about sick leave. That's a first reading on that one. And then on the agenda, I'm going to read it as it is here. It just says Speaker Valerie Wegley. I don't know what that is about, but obviously she has asked for some time, and they have granted that to her. So, again, that will be taking place there. Then you have the superintendent's report, citizens' concerns, and the adjournment. Now, this has the potential of being a long meeting, and I hope not. I don't want to take my tent and camp out, but this has the potential of being a long meeting. And I'm just reaching out, just like it's important for you folks to stay informed in your parent-teacher conferences. Please stay informed with what's going on with your school board as well. Let them know what you agree with. Let them know what you disagree with. Don't just let them hear from you when you disagree. Please let them know what you agree with as well. We want to keep the school system moving forward and in the proper way. We want to make sure that we continue to educate the children of the city of Humboldt the best that we can. And so these meetings are very important. Don't just show up to one or two a year, but they even had a business meeting or board meeting in December, and I don't remember the last time we actually had one in December. So that tells you the urgency of where we are right now. We're trying to get this thing on the right track, grades-wise and all of that, and I'm hearing a lot of good things today, George, about what you've brought to the table here, about attendance and that kind of thing. Now we're going to be talking sports on the other side of the break, so don't go anywhere. Viking News on Demand, continuing our school news show up next.
This is Bradley Owens of Hardy Martin & Owens Law Firm. At Hardy Martin & Owens, we handle personal injury cases, criminal defense, divorce and family law, and wills and estates. With offices in Jackson, Trenton, and now in Milan, we are conveniently located to serve all your legal needs. Call us today at 424-2151 or on my cell, 234-2400. That's 234-2400.
Tipping the scales in your favor.
During the Great Depression, nothing came easy. But with just 5 cents, an old truck, and a load of hay, John Tyson and his family found a way to deliver quality chicken to other hardworking people. Today, Tyson continues to find new ways to help put a chicken in every pot. Because people deserve farm-raised chicken of the highest quality. At Tyson, we remain committed to this simple promise: to always keep it real, to always keep it Tyson.
Our world is changing every day in ways that no one would have imagined just a short time ago. But we won't forget. We won't forget our loved ones, our values, or the way we do business. With caring, with attention to detail, and with new ways to celebrate and honor your memories.
Hi, I'm Chester of Baskerville Funeral Home. We really do love the families we serve in West Tennessee, and it's an honor and privilege to take care of your loved ones. At Baskerville Funeral Home, we're committed to caring and sincere service.
I am Chancellor Baskerville. My family is here for your family in times of need. Folks, yesterday is gone, today is almost over, and tomorrow isn't promised. So when your family and friends take their last breath, the world stops for you. We are available 24 hours a day. We use the latest technology along with good old-fashioned family values, common sense, and compassion. Chester, Donald, or myself are here for you and your family in your time of need. We are Baskerville Funeral Home, Directors of Distinction.
We'd like to remind folks that Humboldt only has one local history source published each week, the Humboldt Chronicle. Local government and education issues, crime and justice, people you know in the news, sports, features, and more each week at your fingertips in the print edition or online. Stop by their office at 2606 East End Drive, Humboldt, or give them a call at 731-784-2531. The Humboldt Chronicle. No Nobody covers Humboldt like the Chronicle.
Do you want to know the worst thing about Mondays? No sports! Well, we fixed that. Join Colin and Seth every Monday for the Monday OT at 7 p.m.
Welcome back in. Viking News on Demand on a Thursday night. School board meeting is underway, and we appreciate you being with us here on a Thursday night. And some of you may be watching this later, and that's okay as well. It stays on our Facebook page and our YouTube page all the time. So we are going to be getting back into sports coverage, and I just discussed off air with George about possibly picking up a few extra games. Now, let me say this, because I know the away games have been difficult, and we feel that. We take those comments, and we don't take them as being overly critical. We take them as you letting us know how that how it's being viewed at home. And if the video is constantly freezing, what good is the video? Right. Because what that does is that freezes the audio too. So sometimes it's just best to decide, are you going to do video, or are you going to do audio, or are you going to do both? On the away games, we may just have to do video with keeping score at the bottom, so that anytime you tune in, you can see the score, you hear the audio, but you don't see the action on the court. Now, let me say this. The reason that some people are able to go live from their phones and it not freeze is because the quality of the video is completely different, okay? The higher the quality, the more stream power you have to have. So we've got these nice 4K cameras, and they are perfect for home games.
Yes, they are.
But away games, when they don't give you access to their internet there, you have problems, okay? So
a little bit more difficult.
We're working through those things. Thank you for being so patient with us. And I nobody has gotten ugly. I will say that. Nobody's gotten ugly. I have took your criticism as constructive, and we appreciate that. We want you to let us know, because we're there, and we're getting a great performance, because it can show on our screen right now that we're live and everything's good.
Right.
I experienced this last night with church.
Okay.
I was streaming our live stream from my house, but a little yellow dot came up in that right corner, and I thought, oh no. So I pulled it up on my big screen, and it was freezing. So right here, it looks great.
It does.
But when you're watching it at home, sometimes that can be a different story. So I just want to say thank you for commenting. Yeah. We need those comments, and not you just to drop off and stop watching. So we're going to work on those things. And we've even been talking about researching some things to see if we can't get better internet away. We tried using a little MiFi spot from Verizon. Just didn't work. That's not throwing Verizon under the bus. That's just saying we're trying. We're trying our best. So anyways, we got some sports news. I think we probably need to start with some games that have happened.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I know junior high has been playing now.
Right.
The high school team has not, correctly? Have they played one game yet?
Yes, the high school team has not played. We did not go to the Martin Westview tournament.
Yeah.
So we hadn't played high school since the Haywood game on December the 19th.
Okay, so we were there for that game.
And you guys were there.
We are going to miss a few games coming up here, but we're going to let you know as we start walking through the schedule where we are going to be. And then I may have some breaking news later on. Hey, we wasn't planning to be at this game, but here's a schedule that we're able to make it. Because I want to get, because this new thing that's getting ready to come out, we're going to talk about it in a minute, it's going to affect quite a few homes, and we want to provide something for you. So let's talk about some games that have happened. Junior high has been playing.
Junior high has been playing. The last time junior high played was December the 17th.
Okay.
That was prior to our break, and we went to Paris Inman.
Okay.
Boys continue to keep rolling along.
Yes.
I think they've only lost one game.
Yes.
So they're rolling real good. The girls are continuing with the low numbers.
Yeah.
They're struggling, but continue to use the effort that it takes when you are inexperienced, hadn't played a lot of games,
Sure.
Going out, learning, taking advantage of the playing time that you are getting. Under the duress of low numbers, you're getting the experience you need, hopefully, to build a program and to be better in the upcoming years. So
and, we talk about the low numbers, and this is something that's just, and it's kind of tough, George.
It is. It is.
When you see these other teams coming in, they're not experiencing it like we are.
They're not. I think that for the most part, girls basketball is really it's struggling right now.
Yeah.
Especially here in Humboldt with numbers.
Yeah.
Because some of the students that we have that are playing, we have a key injury in the high school. On our girls program. The numbers, as you said, with the girls junior high is small. It's probably at the all-time lowest that I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
But with that being said, a lot of uncertainty has come with the pandemic in sports across the board.
Yeah.
So
I guess what I'm looking at is even in high school, George, even on the girls' side, these teams are coming in and they got 3 or 4 times, and they're the same size schools we are.
Exactly.
In our district, coming in, and they still have 3 or 4 times as many kids as we do.
They do.
And Coach Macklin has said that, COVID did hurt our numbers. I wonder why it hurt us more than it did other places. That's just weird.
Yet to be determined. I think there's a combination of things that I'm not real sure about.
And that's not to put you on a hot seat.
Oh, I agree. I think it's okay to say that we're not sure what's going on.
Yeah.
We will continue to make sure that we look at what's going on and try to, increase those numbers because we don't like where our girls program is.
No,
I'll be honest with you. We do not like this. I feel like that we have individuals that can compete. We have coaches that are willing, and we have coaches that are able to do the job. We just have to, as an athletic department, concentrating on girls basketball, do a better job of getting girls interested in playing, and do what it takes to make sure that we are producing every year.
Sure.
And that is going to start, and that has to start right now in looking at what needs to take place.
Yeah.
So,
well,
we're looking.
And that's not to throw anybody under the bus. It's just a question that I've had because I see these other teams coming in, and their numbers are not as affected as ours. And could it be that people in Humboldt, in Gibson County, because I've not seen a lot of people from Gibson County play us yet.
Yes.
Could it be the Gibson County numbers being so high has our people a little more on alert than other folks? It could be. I'm not saying that at all. It was a question that came up that I had when I watched these teams come in, and I sit here going, we got 7 girls on a high school girls team, and then these other teams come in, and they're in the middle of the pandemic just like we are, and they got 14, 15 kids, and they're the same size school.
Yeah. Now, this last game, and I'll talk a little bit about it, versus Lake County this past week, Lake County had low numbers. Lake County had about 8 girls.
Wow.
And their boys, the boys' 8th grade team had only 7 boys.
Ooh.
So,
what I'm seeing may not be true then.
Yeah, well, it kind of varies. I mean, we're exclusive to Humboldt, so we like to deal exclusively with our Humboldt students. But I think our Coach Macklin, Coach Annette, Coach Terrell Green, and Coach Dominique Shivers, they're working hard with what they have.
Sure.
We're still doing what it takes with the population that we have to have a program, and I commend the girls that are continuing to come back every day.
That's right.
Even though the low numbers are low, even though the odds are stacked against us, we still have those girls that continue to come back and are determined to continue playing. And let's face it, it doesn't always look good.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets just downright ugly.
But
the effort is there. I'm proud to know that the girls that are continuing to stick with the program are doing a fine job of playing in spite of the low numbers and the odds being stacked against them.
Sure.
So I want to say that, and I want to commend the parents.
That.
I want to commend our coaching staff. Continue working with what we have, and let's look for solutions that's going to increase our numbers and get things on track with our girls program.
Sure.
And I have that responsibility as well as an athletic director. And our administration, we don't take that lightly.
Yeah.
We're not just accepting where we are with our girls program. we're going to look at how we need to enhance this and what we need to do to build numbers, and just want the community to know that once again, unprecedented, uncharacteristic time, but we will continue looking and see what we need to do to get our girls program where it needs to be.
And I appreciate you saying that about Lake
Sure.
County, because that gives me a little insight as well, because I've not seen a lot of the junior high. I was
Right.
speaking more from a high school standpoint of when they're coming in, but I appreciate that very,
No
very
problem.
much. Before we get into games that are up and coming,
Yeah.
why don't you talk about the new protocols in place so
Yeah,
that
let's
people
do
know,
it.
because I know we got a game tonight, but if we start talking about a game tonight, people could start making plans to get there, and
Yeah.
we want to talk about what these new protocols are.
Well, first of all, yeah, that's a good point, Seth. We do have our 8th grade night tonight. It'll be held starting at 5:15 sharp at Humboldt Junior Senior High School, where we recognize our 8th grade athletes who have participated in
Awesome.
sports.
And I'm
as
glad
8th graders.
that's happening.
Yeah, we're still going to do it.
Yeah.
It's going to look a little different due to the executive order that
Sure.
number 70 that our governor has put in place. Restrictions has been placed on our spectators at our sporting events, and we're required to do a few things different.
Okay.
So parents of all 8th graders, we want you to know that we're going to line up and have the recognition. We're going to social distance and wear our mask.
Okay.
We're asking that only 2 people in the household come and walk with the 8th grade player, cheerleader, or manager. And we are having cheerleaders to come to the 8th grade recognition night.
Okay.
Once all these 8th graders have been recognized, we're going to allow the 8th grade cheerleaders and parents to stay at that ball game, where the order has placed on them that we have no cheerleaders or no cheer parents.
Okay.
So we're allowing that to happen because with our numbers and how we're how we been faring with numbers and looking at them,
Sure.
it's not going to impact us with the total capacity in serving.
Okay.
So that we have attending. So all our parents know that with the restriction in place, players, parents, and immediate household members are who can actually attend our sporting events.
Okay.
Security.
Yes.
Coaching and team personnel.
Okay,
That's
obviously.
the other team, opponent, as well as our team
Sure.
and coaching staff.
Sure.
School, game, and facility administrators. You're looking at your
Yes.
principal, your superintendents, your athletic directors.
Yes, okay.
All in attendance. Of course, you need officials. You need
Oh, who
referees.
needs
Got to
that?
have
No,
those. Despite the job that they do, whether you think they do a good or a bad job, we got to have them.
That's right.
And that's a cost. And Seth, your platform with Viking News on
Sure.
Demand and
Sure.
newspaper with Humboldt Chronicle.
Sure.
Those are the essential members of our individuals that can stay
Sure.
and watch the game and be a part of that. And
So-
again, I do apologize for the inconvenience it's caused and it places on all of us, but hopefully soon some numbers will decline and we'll get to looking at returning to a normal operation of our athletic events.
In that vein, let me ask you this.
Sure.
The TSSAA, obviously, they send things to you as an athletic director. How are
do.
they wording this right now? Because the executive order ends January 19th.
They do.
When I look at your high school schedule, we don't have, but let's see, today's the 7th. We've got 3 games before January 19th. 4 max if they count the January 19th game.
Right.
Are you expecting the TSSAA to reverse to allow more people back in, or do you think, hey, they want to err on the side of caution now and get us to a tournament, keep it this way the rest of the school
Well,
season?
here's my take on it.
And I know you can't speak officially because you don't know.
I can't, so I'm going to just go out there and sing off the record with the folks that I've contacted and the people that I've talked to. I think we're looking at this sort of as a trial basis up until the 19th.
Okay.
We're seeing how the numbers are faring with the limited amount of people that can view and spectate.
Yeah.
And then once we look at that, we can gauge how we're going to move forward into the latter part of our season, and which is why you really play, Seth.
Exactly.
And that's for the tournament, and that's to go and play for that gold ball if you're on the high school level, and to go to those area tournaments at the year-end events when you're in that junior high, when you're on that junior high level. So I think we're erring on the side of caution to administer an order that's going to limit things just to see, number one, when we do put this in place with limited amount of people, how that's going to work. And number two, our numbers are up Are our numbers going to go down after the 19th? What's that going to look like since we did do this and put this order in place? Where are our numbers at right now?
Yeah.
So it's a combination of a couple of things, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Totally off the record from what's going to be decided because
you're
January
not speaking
the 19th,
for the school. You're not speaking
I'm
for
definitely not
TSSAA.
speaking from the school for the school or for TSSAA. That's just my take on some of the information I've read and gotten.
And I would agree with you there, George.
Yeah.
And here's the thing next, and you can't answer this, and I can't either, but as a broadcaster in West Tennessee, I would say that if they keep this in place through the tournament, then there needs to be calls to lift their ban on video and reporting at the tournament. I know you got this network, NFHS, and all that, but I think if you're not careful, it's going to start looking like a money grab that you just kick people out of stands so that you can push people to pay their $10 a month or whatever to watch you online. I think you're going to have to be careful there, too, and they're going to have to figure out a way to walk that tightrope.
Good point.
So,
they are. It's a lot of things to be considered. It's I want to think right now my governing body, TSSAA. You have some big names in the State Department, and you have some local people that serve on committees that's in our local area.
Yes.
Bernard Childress is our executive director. Gene Manise is another individual at the higher level of TSSAA governing body that looks at things that need to occur and are working closely with our governor on his committee to see that our student athletes are actually have the opportunity to operate athletic events and play basketball on a Tuesday and Friday night for high school, and on a Monday and a Thursday for junior high. And these people they're putting the time and effort into the committees and the meetings. Involved with the governor, and we're at the table. That's my point.
And,
we're at the
Greg
table.
Scott, isn't he still in something?
Greg Scott, he's also local that serves on either the legislative committee or the board of controls, one of the two.
I think it's board of controls.
Board of controls. We have Dexter Williams, who's in West Carroll. He's in our area and serves. We have Greg Scott, as you mentioned, and we also have Dan Black in Bradford.
I had forgotten about that.
Yeah, Dan. So we have three individuals that are represented at TSSAA in that board of controls and that legislative council arena that bring the concerns of our area to the folks at TSSAA, and that is important. So I want to commend those guys and thank them for their service and getting our concerns where they need to be, and getting different rules established, looking at different eligibility issues that we're facing, especially during the pandemic when things are so uncertain. So that's a nice bit of a representation to have in your area. And these are people you can contact.
And I know the decisions that are being made will also hit the pocketbook
of most
Humboldt
definitely.
City Schools as well.
It most definitely. I know the referees sent out an email prior to our Christmas break about the decline in funding and how they're going to waive or minimize the fees that they charge. Because, let's face it, guys, referees they get paid. And when you're limiting your crowd, you're limiting the people that are paying customers. You limit the finance and the revenue that is generated through that. So therefore, they've looked at lowering some of their fees with the understanding that these times that we're in, it has to dictate that with the low numbers. So
I get it. I get it.
It's a lot involved in here.
Sure
that
is.
It's not just showing up at a game
That's
and
right.
throwing the ball up and playing and yelling and at the referees. Or it's a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes that we have to consider. But,
Sure. Well, let's move from the boring stuff to the fun stuff.
Yeah, let's move to the fun stuff.
Game starts tonight.
Yeah,
is that at home?
8th grade night. Yeah, 8th grade night.
USJ.
We play USJ tonight. Asking parents to be here at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
We have our senior recognition. Not senior. 8th grade recognition starting at 5:15 sharp. We're going to recognize our 8th grade cheer leaders, our 8th grade ball players, and 8th grade managers, and we need those parents here to make this time, even though it looks a little different.
Yeah,
they need to be recognized, and we're committed to doing that.
Sure.
So we're gonna do that tonight at 5:15 before the game starts.
There you go.
And then once that is done, we'll move right into the game. Allow those parents to stay and watch, and limit our numbers with the essentials that I mentioned: coaches, players, trainers, and administration is needed, and that goes along with the other team as well, Seth.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to a good time tonight, and just want to throw out there, if we have any parents listening, if you hadn't handed in your 8th grade information that we're going to read tonight, please make sure your child brings that to the game so we'll know what to read and get that information on their sheet accurate as far as the name of the student, who they're being escorted by, and what member, if they're a member of what club or organization, and how long they played. There's a format that we use. So get that in to me.
There you go. So that is tonight.
That
Junior
is
high
tonight.
will then go into action again here in a few nights. January the 11th. That's a Monday night. So they'll play on Thursday night, obviously, and then they're kind of back into their normal schedule Monday, Thursday.
Exactly.
Let you kind of highlight a few games.
After that, we're going to travel to Lake County, and we have our last 2 games actually on the road.
Okay. At Lake
probably
County.
as far west as you can go is 2.
yeah. But you can get Boyettes. It's okay.
Yeah, we can get Boyettes again. I did get when we had our football game.
I did
last,
too.
And I got a little state trooper kind of decided to slow my roll before I got to my fish. So
I didn't
he
hear
did
about
give me
that.
a warning, and he let me go through though. I told him where I was going. And who I was.
Say, man, it's an emergency. I got to get some fish.
Yeah, that's right. Get some fish before I get to that football game. But anyway, that was with a junior high football team, and that turned out to be a good experience at Lake County when you can eat fish
Always great
and watch
folks,
sports.
great hosts.
I love it.
Great
they do
guys.
a great job down there at Boyettes. But yeah, January the 11th, we'll be going to Lake County with a boy-girl game.
Yeah.
And that'll be a JV boy game as well that'll take place there. That'll start at 5, so we'll have to leave early, as early as we can to get there on time.
Yeah.
And then that following, is that Monday, the 14th?
14th is a Thursday night.
That following Thursday, we're going to end the season on the road with Dyersburg.
Okay.
So,
that's a tough game.
It's always a tough game.
That junior high team is playing hot.
Solid program. I love going to Dyersburg and watching that.
Great facility, too.
Watching us compete. They have a good facility, and it's always just a good time to go and see. It gives us a picture of where our athletes are, because that Dyersburg area made up of some good athletes, and they kind of compete in that Memphis, which Memphis is not competing now, but that's a little area of competition that is just kind of head and shoulders above, and I like to go and see where we stand up against that competition.
Sure. And then, the junior high season hasn't really had a whole lot of COVID changes, as far as other than the fans and that sort of thing. We had a couple of weeks there we had to shut down, but other than that, they've been pretty consistent. And senior high's been tough.
Yeah,
it's been
senior
tough.
high's been pretty
but
a little bit more challenging.
But junior high, we do have a tournament that's been canceled.
Yes, we do.
It was scheduled for here, wasn't it?
It was scheduled to have our B team tournament. That is that's a tournament that we have with our B team that was scheduled to be played at Humboldt this year with A and double A opponents, and that was going to bring a couple of teams from our area in here to compete for the B team tournament. Well, that's been canceled due to COVID, and our association voted on that, and we are in the Tennessee Middle School Athletics Association. But the area we're in is the West Tennessee area. Okay. So we voted to cancel that, and we're going to actually have the area tournament, which is sort of like the regional of high school basketball. It's just our area with middle school basketball. And we're going to back it up to the 21st.
So that was scheduled to start. It was scheduled to be at Northview, wasn't it?
It was.
So it was started to start on the 19th. But now they're pushing it to the 21st. Right. And as far as how that's going to look, I understand there's a meeting on the 19th that will help us to figure that out.
That's yet to be determined. At 4 o'clock in Halls on January the 19th, we're going to meet and see where that area tournament is going to be. Now, in the past, we've already set it up for our area, which is 1A. Was going to be in Northview. Okay. We might play those games leading up to the championship game at the higher seed. And as we finished our season, we're ranked pretty high. So it looks like a couple of games would actually occur at Humboldt, being that our record is what it is.
Let me know.
I will let you know
we'll try our
after
best
that
to make some
January the
things
19th
happen
meeting
here
at 4
because
p.m.
Yeah, because we need to make some things happen here. People aren't going to be able to attend these games. We need to do our best to try to make it.
We need to give them that opportunity.
And it may be that me and Colin may have to split up and him cover high school and me cover junior high. I don't know. I don't know what that even looks like. I've not even had that conversation with him, my wife, anybody, about how much I'm going to be able to be gone and all that. There's so many things to keep in mind, all these different schedules. Everybody that's doing these things are volunteers, okay? So you got to remember that. Oh, this is volunteer basis.
Yeah,
so we're trying to make sure we get you as much as we can and keep you informed. So a lot of things coming up here junior high-wise.
Yes.
Let's flip the page. Let's go to senior high.
Let's talk a little high school.
They haven't played yet. They haven't been able to play in a Christmas tournament.
Right.
Girls had even already had planned to not play in the Christmas tournament. They had changed their game to that Haywood game.
Yes.
At home, I believe it was. And so, anyways, so this is kind of not really a lot different for them. They were already, but the boys missed the Christmas tournament. And so that makes a little bit of a difference. And Coach really talked about that. He talked about the importance of that Christmas tournament in our interview with him before the Haywood game, actually, at the halftime of the girls' game. And it was in Humboldt. He said, I really enjoy keeping them in basketball mode, in basketball shape. You worry. I mean, you do practices, but practices aren't the same as actually going out playing a game against an opponent. And so how does that affect or not affect this team coming back as you play? I think you're starting out Saturday this week as you're going to Ripley.
To Ripley Saturday.
Ripley's got a pretty good team this year.
Ripley does. They visited us earlier in the
year. They sure did.
We had a pretty good time.
I'm reaching for my scorecard.
Okay,
see if I can find that.
We had a pretty good opportunity at Ripley. It was an exciting game.
It was.
I think we played at a high level.
We did.
Played at a high level versus Ripley early in the year. Actually, Seth, let's look and see when that was. That was December the 12th.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can find that because it was a good game.
It was a great game, and our girls did a fine job as well.
Yes.
Of playing Ripley, and that's when I thought we were turning the corner as far as trying to make some progress with our girls, and then we had an injury.
Yes.
One of our key players got injured there, and I still want to attribute some of our low numbers to that injury, which was a key injury to a key player, and on our girls team, and Kirsten Shepard, and she hadn't been able to bounce back and keep that stability we needed, especially at that guard position, getting that ball up the court. That means the world.
Now, when you say key injury, are we expecting her back?
Kirsten will. I'm not real sure when she'll return, but she's being evaluated, and Clayton, our trainer, is seeing her, and we're making sure that she is totally well and can compete before we bring her back. So I'm not real sure when she will return, but hopefully it'll be soon. So.
Yeah. See, I'm looking at this score from last time. If this is the correct game, I did not write Ripley on the other side, but I think this is the game because it's the game following West Carroll. If this is correct, girls only lost 58-39.
Right, against West Carroll.
And the boys beat them 87-74. So it was a pretty competitive game.
That was the West Carroll game at West Carroll.
Actually, no, this would be Ripley.
That was a Ripley game.
Yeah, this would be Ripley, I believe.
Because after the West Carroll game, which was prior to that, we beat West Carroll to go in the standings as number 1.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Beat them 73-50.
Yeah, so the Ripley game that following Saturday, we played great basketball across the board with the girls and the boys.
Yeah.
So 53 points. Did we say?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
53-39.
Yeah, it was
38 maybe.
38-39 with our girls. So and looking at that game versus some of the other games that have been played, that was probably, Seth, our better game with girls.
I would say it's the better game of the season. So this will be a good game for them to come back. Maybe they've had some rest, and maybe some of these other players will step up for them. So we have a big high school game, January 9th.
Yes.
That is on Saturday. I apologize. We are not going to be able to be there. That is an away game. Tuesday is also away, January 12th.
Also away.
It's at Halls.
It is.
It'll be another big game.
That'll be a big game.
But then we are back in action. We're going to cover 2 games pretty close there. We're going to be back with you on Viking News on Demand January the 15th as we host Middleton.
Yes.
And then we turn around. That's a Friday night. It's our first really major Friday night basketball game we've had all year.
Right.
The only other Friday night was to meet the Vikings, and we didn't get to have it.
We didn't get to have that one.
So this is our first time Friday night
Yes.
being back in the gym at home.
For the first time this year.
And we're going to have to cancel as far as how many people can come in.
Yeah,
so.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. So,
but, I mean, you just roll with that. I mean, that just happens.
do.
Friday, January 15th, we host Middleton, and then we are covering the January 19th game.
Absolutely.
And that is Gibson County coming to Humboldt.
Right.
Now, from there, I'm going to have to sit down and kind of see where our schedule goes because I don't think we were supposed to cover at Peabody. They always give us a terrible place to sit, and I don't know that we still cover that game, to be honest with you. They always place us down there right by the cheerleaders, and you can't hear anything that we're saying. So I don't know what if we do that. I may have to have some conversation and say, hey, look, you got to put us somewhere different. We'll sit on the other side of the bleachers if we have to. Mm-hmm. But I know we want to keep as much out there for you. We do have a lot of home games coming up.
We do.
So
looking at the 15th, the 19th, then we'll go on the road to Peabody, and then we'll have 2 more home on to round out January, the 26th and the 29th, with Madison and Halls.
Oh.
So we're looking to start getting to the nuts and bolts of the season.
That's right. This is games that matter. These are region games.
Matter. Yes, you're in your district and your region schedule now. You're in your district schedule with.
It is very heavy
Madisons
at the
and
end.
Halls. Yeah, it's critical.
Is that on purpose?
I think they want to. It's almost like the college scene. You play your out-of-conference games at the beginning of the season on the front end.
Yeah.
Then you move into your conference schedule or your district in our case. And, that is intentional, and we like to we always like to, get some of those opponents that are outside our conference or outside
how
our
active
district.
is TSSAA in making this schedule with you?
Not accurate at all. We just kind of, they tell us we have to play the teams within our district twice.
Okay.
And then outside of that, it's
so you could have scheduled somebody up earlier, but you just choose, hey, let's put them at the end. And that's probably where you're going to play your best basketball.
It is. You want to look at how you're playing and who you're playing at that phase and that juncture of the game because you know what March holds. In the end of February and March, you're playing for something.
That's right.
You're playing for
you
something.
want to be.
Exactly. You want to be in that position to where
that's right.
We go as far as we can. So,
okay. Well, George, is that all basketball that we need to cover? Because I got another question for you, and I know you're probably going to have to dance around this question because nothing has been announced.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here months after football's over.
Mm-hmm.
No head coach is being announced.
Right.
There's rumors going everywhere. So I'll give you a chance just to kind of let folks know where we are at. I know there's going to be some conversation tonight at a school board meeting.
Okay.
Possibly a name being presented or whatever. I don't know how that's even going to go. This is new territory for us. Mm-hmm. In how that we're hiring this next coach. It seems like it's being really, really held closely this year.
It is.
You don't have to explain why of that. I understand. We've got new administration, and new administrations are going to handle things differently.
Right.
And I respect that.
Yeah.
I want you just to kind of let the public know where are we at in our coaching search. Obviously, you're not sitting back doing nothing. There's things that are happening.
Absolutely.
So where are we at with our coaching search? Can you give us a time frame that we can expect an announcement? You may not be able to, and if you can't, that's fine. I just want to give you a chance to speak to the people.
Totally understandable. Let me go into this in saying that we are still in the process, and the procedures and guidelines must be followed.
Yes.
In doing so, and we are making a recommendation and wanting to go through the procedures of allowing everyone that needs to be involved in this. And before we do any announcing, we want to help give that respect to those that are within our board, school board, our administration, our coaches. That process is not a process that you just want to jump out there and just hand out information loosely. So we are still in the process of giving the recommendation to the proper individuals that need to know. And once all that's been done, it is a process, and I want individuals to understand it is a process. And I know a lot of things are going around there, but just hold off and allow us to do this the proper way and give it the proper attention and respect that it deserves in announcing who is going to be the new head football coach, and the recommendation has to go through its proper channel.
Sure.
So
that's the answer we need,
pretty
folks.
much what I'm going to say
that's
about
okay.
that.
That's okay.
That's the answer that I feel like that is needed for our public right now, and what our school system legally and can do. And we're just a school that taking this process very serious.
Well, sure.
Taking
and you
it very
need to.
serious. And
We've seen this team take some big strides at the end of the year, and you don't want to lose that. We've been here before.
Exactly.
And then we felt like, and this isn't on anybody, but we felt like maybe we took a few steps backwards, and then we come back, and we're here again, and we don't want to keep taking those steps back. So that's why, as a public, you have to take maybe take this more positive than negative, that it's taking a little while that we're making this next decision, because it is a big decision for the program. You know, how long can you teeter back and forth with the football program before it really just takes a hit that it can't recover from? So we've got to make sure that we get a hire right, and that it's the good thing for the program.
Right.
Those numbers had struggled in years past. We've seen those coming back. That's why I've got full confidence the girls' basketball program is going to come back. All these things, they're moving in the right direction when right decisions get made in these crucial times.
Very well put.
And that doesn't always mean that we get rid of a coach to make a right decision.
Exactly.
It just may mean that we're doing some other things behind the scenes and practices that are helping us get to that place. So I would just encourage folks, you've heard the answer, that they are diligently working. They are getting closer to making an announcement. And if your school board approves, then I would say we're going to get an announcement pretty soon. And when that happens, once that news gets released, we're going to bring it to you here on Viking News on Demand. And I would like to sit down with whoever that next coach is and us try to do an interview, and just kind of even long before the season gets here, to let you know who they are, what their plans are for an off season, because they can't do an off season right now anyways. We're in that kind of like I mean, they can be lifting weights.
Yes.
And they probably, are they doing that? I mean, are other coaches kind of making sure that's happening?
Other coaches are still in contact with our players, and our program still moves on. It doesn't stop.
And you got some that are playing basketball that won't be doing what football players are doing right now. And that's normal because, hey, remember, basketball had to take a back seat as well, and they had to wait for football season to be over before they could pull them to their practice. So it's the same way the other way around. So we are a smaller school. That plays into it. So just, again, folks, you've got your answer now that we're moving toward the announcement of a new coach, and we're excited about the future of Humboldt football as well as basketball.
Absolutely.
Any other sports news?
No more sports news, but I want to throw in there, Seth, that it's the CASA program is still moving.
Okay.
Still going forward with that. We do have a site at our alternative school. If you need tutoring, if you need any your students that need tutoring, that need anything regarding attending our after-school program there at any of the schools, just especially at the East, junior, senior high school. I think they have a site. East has a site, and we do have a site at the alternative school after schools on Monday through Thursday. Please contact us there at the central office, and we will get your student hooked up to the tutoring at the site at the alternative school, and we are looking forward to building that site as well, and making sure we get those students over there, and mainly to just reach out to anyone that's needing some services.
Okay. All right.
Well,
our hour is almost over. This hour always goes by fast.
It does.
I tell you what, enjoy it. We just kind of look at this as chatting with friends. I tell you, it's easy to fill an hour when you just kind of sit and have conversation. And it doesn't mean you don't ask tough questions, but you get those answers, and then sometimes you get the answer that, hey, we're working on it, but we can't release it yet. And that's the way this always works. And I appreciate your willingness to come on with us, George. And
thank you so
we look
much.
forward to continuing to support Humboldt City Schools, both academically and athletically. We are at their school board meeting tonight. We'll have an update on that tomorrow. I'm probably going to release that around lunchtime. That's my plan. Don't hold me to it, because my schedule with pastoring and all could change so quick, but I'm hoping to get this released tomorrow, maybe around lunchtime, and try to get you the highlights from this meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, George, for being here.
Sure.
God bless you, folks. Thanks for watching Viking News On Demand, the Humboldt City Schools Show.